Welcome in and thanks for tuning into the Voice of College Football's Miami post-game show. We are now we absolutely own the state of Virginia. Virginia is ours. We have totally humiliated the whole state, taken down both the powerhouses out of Virginia. And I mean, I feel like we're back on top. You know, I think Miami just might be back this time after that stunning victory. What was it? Four overtimes? 4 overtimes. It was a nail biter right down to the end. I got Hurricane Central Alex and Slim Shady Canes with me here again. What's up, guys? What'd you think of that?
Nail biter. It was more like a lullaby, man. I almost fell asleep during that.
One of the most boring games ever.
No, I was with my friend. We were watching it on the TV, and I was like, I'll honestly just take the L at this point if it means this will be over. Because I can't watch this anymore. It was... Hey, at least the defense showed up, I guess. We could talk about that. That's a positive.
Yeah. Our defense, I guess, is our strong point.
Well, not even really, because we gave up a lot of big plays and quarterback runs. So, yeah, it's officially FSU week, and I'm just going to say it here. Jordan Travis is going to run for like 200 yards. He's going to have every possible lane to just... We're fucked.
What do you think, Slim?
I don't get why everybody's so mopey. We won! Whee!
I know. It's like this awesome feeling. I don't quite know how to feel.
And I mean, I think you're looking a little ahead to Florida State. Jordan Travis isn't going to run for 200 yards. Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's going to run for 300 yards.
Yeah, he's saving that for the Clemson game.
No, he already blew his wad in the Clemson game. Jordan Travis is done.
Hey, Tony, thanks for tuning in. I hope you see that big Miami post game live up there in the right hand corner, man. You are the man. Thanks, Tony. Thanks. What's up?
I mean,
DK, Kissimmee, MDB, James Beckham.
To his point, I mean, yes, the defense did show up, and I mean, honestly, I've been saying for the last 3 or 4 weeks, the defense is the strong suit of this team this year.
Yeah. Honestly,
the strong suit.
Is there anything really strong about this team?
And they found their, I once was lost, but now I'm found. My name is the running game.
Yeah, that end of regulation drive, we just ran the ball right down their throats. That was good, I guess.
Well, I mean, that was the only offensive highlight of the game because it sure wasn't Jake Garcia.
Garcia sure didn't shine.
Now we were talking about this before we went live, and now that we're live, I'm going to put this to everybody in the chat as well. Can we finally put this baby to bed that Jake Garcia is so much better than Tyler Van Dyke? Thank you.
Slim stirring the pot again, but I do agree with you.
Yeah.
And I saw it in Coop's chat too. The Ja'Curry Brown's already starting. He was 0 for 3, so let's not even get that train rolling.
Also, he literally threw the ball into the dirt on one play with the receiver.
Killing worms.
Yeah. We were like, I was watching the game and I was like, man, this Ja'Curry Brown package isn't really going to work anymore if all we do is run the ball. We got to pass it. And then he drops back to pass. And I was like, oh, we're throwing it. And then he threw it into the dirt. And I was like, okay, that's why we haven't passed with him. No, I get it.
Yeah, that was hey, but at least we won. At least we can actually come on here and say that we won. And it was, like you said, at some point, I just want it to end. I was sitting there watching I'm like, geez whiz, just come on. Something happened. 2 yards.
Also,
2 yards.
Can we just talk about how every field goal just looked like it went wide left or like completely wide right? Like, I was looking at every field and I was like, what is up with the Virginia stadium or like the angles they have set up where these field goals just look like they're completely missing? But
yeah, I didn't think they were going to make it.
The refs have their hands up and I'm just like, wait, that went in?
They had to kick every single one of them from, the right hash mark. So I was really worried about that last field goal to send it into overtime because that was a wicked angle he had to put on that kick. Props to Borgalis for making that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still traumatized from last year. So literally every single field goal we attempted in overtime and the end of regulation one, I was just saying, yeah, we're going to miss it and we're going to lose. It's over.
So what does that make us now? So we're at how many wins now?
4-4.
We're back to 500. We're 4-4.
4-4, back to 500. So
The U is back.
Yeah, we are
back.
back. We are
We're
back. And it's not even the off season.
We should put up a Virginia State championship banner. We should put that up.
Well,
Did we get some kind of trophy?
I'll say this: looking at how the season's gone, it's reminding me to go with my gut instinct, because I called into Coach Hayes the day that they announced that they were hiring Mario, because he went live, and I was like, we're going to go 6-6. I was like, that's just the trend of what happens, in college football. When you bring in a new staff, you have a worse record than you did the year before. And, I started to change my mind. That was a mistake. I mean, it just, it just proves go with your gut instinct.
I know at this point, 6-6 is looking good, man.
I mean, let's look at the rest of the schedule. Like, I don't know where we could get 2 more wins. Georgia Tech, yeah. Pitt. Florida State's looking iffy. The line on that game right now is, well, they haven't set the line out, but on the ESPN predictor, they have 61% chance that Florida State's going to beat us.
That game's a pick 'em, in my opinion. It always is.
Yeah.
Weird stuff happens in rivalry games.
Yeah, especially that rivalry. It's you never know.
Yes. Clemson.
Clemson doesn't stand a chance, man. I mean,
I don't think Clemson does stand a chance. Now, Georgia Tech, they might give us trouble.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Georgia Tech than I am Clemson. I mean, Clemson's looking pretty weak, People are going to be on it. You're delusional.
How much did Georgia Tech lose by today? Oh, 41-16. That's fine.
And Pitt's got injuries starting to stack up worse than us. I mean, I kind of feel bad for them.
Yeah. So, what do you think about here? Leo's bringing up the fact. What do you think about picking up that recruit? I mean, I hope he sticks.
I didn't think we were gonna get him. I didn't even have a post ready for it on Instagram. I was finishing dinner.
McLean.
Yeah.
And we also got the safety linebacker last night.
Yeah, nobody expected that, and I like the Florida fans going around stomping their feet and crying about it, like, it's hilarious.
Can I read you something?
Oh, sure. Let's hear it.
So, young dark-skinned Florida Gators fan on Twitter. I posted this on my Instagram. He tweeted out, Lagway drops back to pass, fakes a swing route to Webb, has a man deep. Mizzle has a step on McLean. It's caught. Touchdown Florida. Gators go up 24-3 before the half against their mediocre rival Miami in Napier and Cristobal's first matchup in the series. They're so depressed they're writing fan fiction about whooping our ass. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
This dude went on Twitter, opened up his drafts, wrote this out, and said, yeah, this will go over well, and just tweeted it out.
It's like that guy you look at when you're out and you're like, did you look in the mirror before you left the house, or did you really decide to wear this? Oh man.
I mean, as far as us getting McLean, I mean, that's the kind of thing I expected out of Cristobal coming in. He's going to get those high-profile recruits. If things keep up, around where they're at, based on the average ranking, they're probably going to end up with somewhere around a top 5-ish class.
Probably like 6 or something. We still have the offensive lineman, Samson Okunlola, that people have been saying for a while that he looks like it's Miami. Ruben Bain, Legacy Hurricane. It's a battle right now between us and Bama. We're going to have to see how that one goes. And, recruiting's crazy. You could always flip a few guys. You never know. People really want Brandon Ennis, the wide receiver from American Heritage, which, I want him too, but, he is committed to Ohio State, so we'll see how that one goes.
I want to see a couple more high-end wide receivers come in, please, and thank you.
Yeah, we could definitely use and do a Yeah, I saw that too, and I think Coop was actually talking about that on his show last night.
Yeah, but that was just someone on a message board, wasn't it? That's not even like a source. It was just a guy on a message board talking about that. And he was like, someone told me insider information. And
Right. It's like all of a sudden he's like, I don't normally have insider information, but this time I do, and it just so happens to be about money deals.
Yeah, well, some chick told him, and it was some chick. He just happened to be insider.
Oh, okay. Favorite movie ever.
Yeah, that's funny, Tony, because I don't know if I like the Juices Loose or the Die Hard better. I was just sitting there looking at it. I'm like, man, the OJ is OJ or the Die Hard poster. I'm not sure which one I like more, but
I've got a Scarface one upstairs, so
of course you do.
I'm Cuban, bro. Come on. It's a part of my culture.
But yeah, it is nice to actually be on here though, and after we win, we haven't had a whole lot of that this season, so it's kind of nice.
Well, about half our season.
yeah, I guess half the time. What's up, Roger Dodger? I was watching the same stream as Roger Dodger. It's pretty sad when our games we have to like find YouTube streams, like illegal YouTube streams, just to be able to watch the Miami play. I was sitting there, I see Roger Dodger commenting in the comments on some random stream I'm in. I'm like, hey, there's Roger Dodger.
I actually found it on some obscure DirecTV channel somewhere in the high 600s.
Oh wow.
Well,
it's like whatever, I'll take it.
The cable, so I was able to watch it normally.
Well, and I'm gonna bring this up too. That whatever that cluster was in the last 45 seconds of regulation, that's the kind of stuff I was worried about with Mario coming in. Number one, you should leave yourself as much time as you can on second down. I don't know why he's sitting there arguing that. I don't know why you're going to line everybody up and then have them hold up and call in another play from the sideline with the clock running. And I don't know. A lot of that decision making there kind of bothered me.
Yeah. There was also a few times, I forget when it was. Oh, when we ran it on the 3rd and 13, I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, so we're just going to go for it on 4th down. And then we punted it, and I was like, wait, why would you run the ball on a 3rd and 13 just to punt? You're not going to pick up – this running game can barely pick up 2 yards. What are you doing?
Well, no, I mean, Parrish broke off, a couple of 20-yard runs today. And I think that's what they were hoping for because, I mean, let's be honest. Jake Garcia threw about 50% for 100 and however many yards it was. I mean, the run game is what they had working. And props to him because it hasn't been working in like 3 weeks.
Really, since Middle Tennessee. Last time we were able to run the ball well was
A&M. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that feels like 3 years ago at this point.
It does seem like a long time ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess the running game was working, but our passing game. I mean, what's going on? Like, I sit here and watch Miami play, and it's just like it's horrible.
Really a lot. It's really a lot where some of it's on Jake with a lot of the overthrows or underthrows or inaccurate throws. Really, just bad throws.
He puts too much on it in short yardage throws too.
Yeah. There was a couple deep shots where I saw it where he just completely overthrew the receiver, and I was like, if that's TVD, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Or at least like a 40-yard gain. Like it was kind of like Malik Rozier levels of how bad he would like overthrow or just completely like not be on target with his receiver. And then a lot of times it's also just Gaddis. Like the plays we're calling and the route combinations we have set up. I think this was a play in overtime where we had 2 receivers on the right side of the line running to the same spot, and it was just like, what are we doing?
Well, is that on Gaddis or is that guy's not running routes right?
Well, that's kind of hard to judge because if it's the route's not being run, but then there's also the thing where it's like, man,
I think if you've got two receivers running to the same spot, somebody's running the wrong route.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it was planned that way. Surely not.
I don't know, man. We a lot of things come out about Miami, and you're just like, wait, this was happening.
I don't have the hate on Gaddis that a lot of people do. I mean, I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of execution problems. I mean, yes, there's some stuff where I question a play call here or there, or I question a personnel decision here or there, but I'm seeing a lot of just a lack of basic fundamentals, and we know that they focus on this stuff. They focused on this stuff since Pee Wee football. So,
but then again, this goes back to what we were talking about last week, where when you have a coach for 3 years as a head coach and 6 years as a defensive coordinator, that would just kind of let players be complacent and run basically a summer camp. You kind of don't remember the fundamentals, because it doesn't matter if, like, just use martial artists as an example. Like, black belt martial artists and big time UFC fighters still practice the fundamentals. They still preach the fundamentals because that's the base of everything else. And if you don't really have those down and you don't have those as basically muscle memory, and you could just do it without even thinking, then you're not going to be great at what you're trying to accomplish. And the same thing can go to football or basically anything else in life.
So you're saying they need to paint the fence.
Wax on.
I mean, he's absolutely right, and I'll even take it a step farther. I think you've gone from a guy in Manny Diaz as head coach that he was kind of a mixed bag, in my opinion. There was some good, there was some bad, but to me, the absolute worst, and you can see it a lot with the stuff that they posted on social media. Manny Diaz wanted to be their friend.
Yeah.
And Mario Cristobal's not coming in with that mentality. And I do think with some players, I think it's kind of obvious that it's causing friction.
I mean, we did have that thing come out about the tweet that a player's mom put out. I'm
not Keyshawn Smith's mom. And you know what?
I wasn't going to say it, but okay.
I'm with NMD on that. That Josh Gaddis rose about 10 foot tall, in my opinion, if he really did go into the locker room and tell the players that. I have a lot of respect for a coach that's going to be that blunt and forward with the players.
Y'all are fucking trash.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you call it like you see it. I mean, if that's it, I mean, why we can say it? Why can't the coach?
They're not playing up to their own talent level.
No. Hey, let me MDB 2006. Thanks for the $4.99 super chat supporting the show, man. He says 2 quarterbacks have went backwards under Gaddis. I can't overlook that. They do seem to have kind of regressed.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I've heard out of several people that TBD has regressed. And if you look at nothing but his numbers, okay, sure. But if you watch the game, no. He's not getting any protection from the offensive line. He's not getting a whole lot of help from his wide receivers. I mean, once again, this makes number 3 in a row. Our top receiver is a transfer.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But do we even have a top receiver at this point?
Colby Young.
It didn't look like it today because Jake Garcia couldn't deliver him the ball.
No, Jake couldn't get it. Well, and they kept double covering him because they saw that Jake kept trying to force it to him.
Yeah. And it's also another thing where it's when you don't really have another receiver to go to, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, cover Colby. Because last year, we had Rambo, but guess what? Harley can make plays. Keyshawn Smith made plays every once in a while. Restrepo in the slot would come in for Harley. He can make some plays. Will Mallory picked it up at the end of last year. So you couldn't really just cover Oh, my God.
Double cover?
Yep.
Double cover.
That word.
What's up, LBC Trojan? Thanks for tuning in, my friend.
Yeah, you couldn't really double cover Rambo last year, but you can kind of just do that with Colby because Restrepo was out until this game. He actually played this game. I don't know if he really did anything, but he played.
He had a couple of catches. He's on limited snaps. I mean, he's not. He's probably 85, 90%. He's not 100. That's why they had him on limited snaps.
Yeah, they're just getting the feel, getting him back out there.
Right.
Because we're definitely going to need him next week.
Can you put bye-bye Bosworth's comment up there?
Let's see what's.
It's about building. They just stole Cormani from Florida and just got a stud linebacker to switch from Oklahoma. Cristobal is building. Take the ugly win and move on. 7 wins and a bowl win. It's 8. I mean, yeah, I don't really see how. Yeah. I mean, this is where we are now. This isn't like a video game or something where the dynasty isn't going so well. Where it's like, I'll just start a new one. Let me just start the year over again. Like, no, this is where we are. We have to live with it. And the signs were there. We hyped it up ourselves and let the media hype it up to where we all thought we were going to win 10, 11, 9 games, win the Coastal, and maybe we could get to the playoff this year. Could we get to the playoffs this year? No, but we let that hype it up with ourselves. But Cristobal has always known since the beginning. We've heard it come out where he's like, things were worse than I thought. This is a rebuild. We need a culture change. We need to change the culture. He's been saying it. It's been in front of us the whole time. So, yeah, we just need to keep stacking talent. And like I said last week, if we finish 7-5, 8-5 with the bowl win, then next year, 9-4. The year after that, maybe 10-2, 11-2. Year 4, like just steadily building. Because I'd rather have that.
And you can actually even speed that process up because I have a feeling before the season's over, you're going to see guys hit the transfer portal because Mario, especially after the Duke game, Mario hinted around. He didn't want to say anything in the press conference. You could tell that. But he was asked a question because it's even obvious to reporters at this point. You just have some players out there half-assing it. And I think you're going to have him and the other coaches, tell some players, we got nothing for you anymore. Because, and I said this during the offseason, and this was one of my concerns coming into the season, and I may have even said it on here before. You still have guys on this team that were there Manny's first year, 2019, that were dancing on the sideline while we were losing to FIU.
And Louisiana Tech. And Duke.
Yeah. You still have some of those guys here. And with the way things have gone, I mean, you can't expect their attitude to change when there's such instability in the program. So I think this year Mario's just going to have to stabilize things and then grow from there. Now, I do think he can do it faster, and that was the point I was going to with bringing in transfers, because you got a lot of talented guys, fixing to leave A&M that's going to be on their last shot.
Yeah, let's get some potheads over here, guys. Let's do it.
Well,
let's get some nice Texas stoners in here.
Hey, I'm all for giving somebody a second chance, but you have to make it clear to them, you're leaving one big time program for another because you screwed up. This is your last chance, because you're not going to go from A&M to Miami to some other big school.
Right. And I agree with Dark Code here. He says we can still beat FSU and Clemson. And yeah, like we were saying earlier, I mean, Clemson's our only certain win past this point, because I mean they're so weak that it's going to be easy just to walk all over them. So
yeah. Well, I mean, who we got to worry about? The ukulele? Yeah. I mean, he can't complete a pass. He's out there throwing 15 interceptions. Nobody's worried about him.
I'd like to see him and Tyler Van Dyke in a foot race.
Goddamn, Slim.
That wasn't me.
No, that wasn't you, right? But yeah, Tyler Van Dyke and the ukulele. I'd like to see that foot race.
My money's on Van Dyke.
Like 15-second 40s.
I mean, DJ looks like a baby giraffe out there trying to run, just stumbling around.
Right. I always kind of thought he looked like one of those Rock'em Sock'em robots or whatever it was. He's just all stiff at everything he does. Yeah, that should be an interesting one.
Another shout out for this game. I got to give props to the defensive line. They played solid all year.
Especially
I
Leonard
don't have
Taylor.
I don't have a word to say about them. And
Let
they
me
were
see.
even missing Njogbu for this game. Or no,
Mesidor.
yeah, Akeem Mesidor.
Yeah, you said a name, and I was like, who? Who was he?
I was thinking of another defensive lineman.
We had 2, 3.
Yeah, Dark
5
Code.
sacks.
I'd just like to win one of those games.
Yeah, right.
if we could pull off one of those games, I'll be happy.
We had 5 sacks and 11 tackles for loss today.
Yeah, the defense playing pretty good, really.
Yeah. And I mean, even the secondary is looking better. I'm gonna be honest with you because they've stopped throwing to Tyreek Stevenson's side of the field. You had who was it? Kitchens got his hand. I think that was the third overtime. Kitchens got his hand on that pass. Or was that? I couldn't remember if that was the goal line or if that was one of the overtimes.
It was the goal line and the overtime. And the goal line where he just like went up and like tipped it with like his middle finger and it just dropped in the end zone. Because if he didn't do that, that would have been a touchdown. He was wide open.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, thanks MDB again. Maybe one of you guys knows the answer to this. He says worst O-line in the history of the program. And he says, so is Thad hurt? If not, he has to be transfer bound.
Actually, I did hear that Thad is hurt. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want to keep Thad off the field. I don't really see. We were talking about players with like lack of effort, half-assing. I don't really see Thad as one of them. And and him, and yeah, a lot of times when he gets in the game where it's like he's this bruiser and he can only pick up like 1 or 2 yards. It's like, it's kind of hard to pick up 1 or 2 yards when you have the O-line we have with the injuries we have right now. So.
Now, I don't know if this is the worst O-line in the history of the program. I mean, you can crack the books and go back to the 30s and 40s and find some really bad O-lines. The 70s, too.
Well, yeah, you start going back to the 70s. And
I mean, Slim, this program only started in 1983, so we're just going to go from there. Nothing before that counts.
Block out everything before that. Hey, maybe we could block out everything for the past 18 years as well.
Well, no, you can't block. You had guys like George Myra and Ted Hendricks and all that before then, and those are Hall of Fame guys. So I ain't gonna block all that out. It is what it is.
So you're not gonna go Ron Swanson and just say that everything before 1776 was a lie?
But I mean, I do agree with this point. I mean, this is an absolutely terrible offensive line. And I don't know why it's a surprise to anybody. I mean, along with the linebacking core, that was one of my biggest concerns coming into the year because you had all those upperclassmen on the offensive line last year, and they're all gone. And we still saw what we got out of them. So what did you think that we were going to get out of the guys that aren't the upperclassmen and have all those starts?
Yeah, and Bosworth, that's what we were just talking about. I would say, and it'll be funny too. It'll be really funny if, after all that money they've spent and all that, if Texas A&M, if they just lose.
Hey, we're spending money too, man. We've probably spent like the equivalent GDP of a small African country to get this recruiting class. Okay. So.
Actually, from everything I'm seeing, they're kind of going the Texas route. They're putting everybody, on about a, 50 to 75 grand a year pay scale, which I think really works out best because then you don't end up with, one player on the team with a multi-million-dollar deal and a couple other players with, $100,000 deal or something like that, and then everybody else with nothing.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and then they can't pull a Quinn Ewers where he goes to Ohio State for 1 year for $1 million, and then he's like, "Well, I'm going to go to Texas because they're also giving me $1 million."
Yeah, well, he ain't going to be the only one because I'm still waiting to cash in on that winning lottery ticket as soon as Travis Hunter dips out of JSU because it's going to happen.
And what do you guys think about this comment I got highlighted here?
Let me see.
Here's a question. We know Gaddis' play calling is bad, but do you think it's Ponce that got these QBs looking bad?
I disagree with both of those statements vehemently.
Take it away, Slim.
Yeah.
I mean, point out where Gaddis' play calling is bad. Like I said, you can point to a play here or there where maybe you wouldn't have called that play in that situation, but all in all, I don't see anything wrong with Gaddis' play calling. He likes to run a very balanced offense, which I prefer. Now, I think the popular thing is they want to run 5 wide every play and run an air raid. And I'm sorry, but Mike Leach is the most, prominent name in doing that. And what has he ever won doing it? You have to have a balanced offense. So I would rather take the lumps now and have my balance. Look at the teams that always win. Does Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, do they run some kind of air raid offense where they're throwing it all over the place? No, all of them run a balanced offense.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're trying to build. You look at, like Slim just said, you look at these teams, and what's the common thing? A strong defense that gets stops and holds opponents to 20 or less points a game, like the bad ones. And then they run out there with a balanced offense with a good quarterback, a good running game, and a good O-line. They'll run spread. They'll spread the ball out, but it's not going to be every play, 5 wide, 4 verts, just go. Like, that's not how that's going to work. And honestly, I want to give credit to Gaddis with this, where earlier in the year we saw the run game was really the focal point. But then after the A&M game, we tried to go back more to the passing game. But it's just we're so injured on the O-line and the lack of execution. And honestly, you can see that a lot of players have just kind of given up. Like, they're just kind of over this season. And they're just like, man, I'm just going to finish this out and I'll just wait to transfer.
Okay. Go to this last comment from Peanut.
Peanut is not a fan of Josh Gaddis.
Our short yardage play calling sucks too. How so? In short yardage, you run the ball between the tackles. So and that's exactly the kind of play calling that he's calling. Now, I would say some of that is where I've had some personnel kind of conflicts. I would like to see more Thad Franklin in short yardage as opposed to Parrish. But no, they just simply can't execute short yardage run plays.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. They just can't do it.
I think he just wants Josh Gaddis to go out there and throw some blocks.
Yeah, right. Well, it's that. I mean, we heard this all last week too. Gaddis is terrible. I didn't see Gaddis fumble a single ball or throw a single interception.
Yeah, man.
And there were a couple of them from Jake. I'm like, who are you throwing the ball to?
Yeah, the one right before halftime happened, and I saw him throw it, and I was like, oh, he's throwing the ball away. And then I see it get picked off, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
there wasn't a Miami player on the screen.
I was like, I'm sorry, where were you going with that?
Like, dude, I've got a 65-inch in my living room. I got a whole lot of screen. There wasn't orange or green anywhere to be seen on it.
Just the crowd.
Yeah, that was something glitched there.
Oh yeah, Cheney's still injured.
Yes, Cheney's injured. What did he do? I heard he got hurt, and I think it was fall camp, but we never heard what happened to him. I mean, did he re-injure that same messed up knee?
It was a knee, but I think it was the different knee.
Oh,
and
okay.
Also, yeah, I think we did play a lot better over the middle of the field without James Williams. Because here's the thing. James Williams has a lot of talent, but he just goes for the highlight play a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know what? I see a lot of the same problems with James Williams that I saw with Bubba Baxa. Not Bubba Baxa.
Remember when we did have a kicker named Bubba Baxa?
Yeah. No.
Bubba Gump.
God, who was that? Who was the safety that went the draft? Yeah, that's it. Bubba Bolden.
You got Baxa and Bolden, the two Bubba Bs.
Yeah. No, Bolden was the one. I loved his energy, but he tried to do too much and was out of place a lot, and that's James Williams' problem. He tries to do too much, and he's not taking care of what he's supposed to be taking care of, and the offense takes advantage of it. So I like his energy. I like his want to, as far as making the play, but he's got to focus a little bit.
So Dark Code has what is the status of Chaney?
He's supposed to be back before the end of the season, supposedly.
I think we might just medical redshirt him, man.
He might.
What's the point of bringing him back for 2 games at the end of the year?
Well, actually, I'm not even sure if he can, because don't forget he was out all last year with the knee. He got hurt in practice before the 3rd game.
Mm-hmm.
No, last year he got hurt during the Appalachian. Was it the Appalachian State game where he got hurt? I didn't
think he got in the game. I thought he got hurt in practice.
No, he was in the game and he got hurt during the game.
Okay, I knew it was early in the year, and honestly, I think that's part of the problem, because I think Don Chaney Jr. is the best running back in that room, in my opinion.
Also, was Jalen Knighton injured? Because I don't think I saw Jalen Knighton out there at all.
Well, they might have told him keep working on holding on to the damn ball.
Right. He dropped his helmet too many times. He couldn't get into the game.
They saw him drop his helmet on the sideline. You know what? Your day's over, bro.
Jay, you're up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Never mind.
Hey, what's up, LW? Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping in, too.
I mean, every time I see stupid stuff like this, I just think back to I was watching a doc on the 90s Cowboys, and it's just Jimmy Johnson yelling at a player in training camp, and he's like, "Use 2 hands, not 1. Don't get fancy, get good."
Now, you know what? I'll actually give them a little nugget. You want to hear some criticism of Gaddis? Why are we not seeing any toss or sweep running plays?
Yeah,
none.
That's something I think that they could do. I think they've got a speed advantage over a lot of people, and I think that's something they can do to have a little more success in the run game. Now, maybe they don't have faith in the offensive line.
I think that might be it, offensive line and receivers, because there's been a lot of plays where we've asked receivers to block, and they're just like, "Yeah, I'll put a finger on the guy, but I'm not really going to try."
Yeah, that's something they excelled at. I'll give them this. They excelled at that when Mark Richt was here. That's gone.
Oh, no. Yeah, you watch some of those old 2017 games, and even the announcers are saying, it's emphasized here probably more than anywhere else, the receivers, that you need to block downfield.
And to me, that's part of want to. So, if something's being taken out of the offense because of a reason like that, I mean, a coach can't make you put forth the effort on the field. I think they're literally trying to do the best they can with what they have to work with right now.
Yeah, and also Dark Code, that Parrish is playing with a lot of heart. I mean, this is something else that gives me hope for the future, man. A lot of the players you see excelling are either some of the really young guys that weren't with Manny for years and years, and transfers that Mario brought in. Leonard Taylor, Cam Kinchins, Akeem Mesidor, Darryl Jackson, Colby Young, Henry Parrish, even Lucius Stanley had a couple good carries today, and he's a walk-on from UAB.
Well, and here's my thing with that, and I have trouble really even being mad at the players for it, because when you've had the instability around them that you have, can you really get mad at some of them for checking out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I said it. I've said it before.
I was going to say something about Nesta at Arizona State, but I'm just going to.
What, do you throw the whole water bottle this time?
The water boy.
But I think this year, and as long as they leave it at this and let them go forward, this may be the only year of it. This year may be the karma on the Miami fan base for running out coach after coach after coach after coach.
How many banners have we flown at this point?
Quite a few.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a mark. I still find it hilarious that people are like, "Yeah, this was a bad hire. We should have just kept Manny." And it's just or hired someone else. I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's year 1." We're 8
Well,
games in.
Speaking of banners, you would think they would have they would have learned their lesson the first time, because they started the whole banner thing with Butch Davis,
Mhm.
and then he made them insert foot in the mouth. And like I said, you would have think they would have learned their lesson the first time, but no, here we go again.
No, maybe they're just hoping where it's like, ooh, maybe if we fly a banner, he'll turn it around. It's like it'll be like, Butch, we flew the banner and then we won a natty.
Hey, MDV, thanks for another $4.99 super chat. He says, Rooster looks mentally and physically broken. That's not the same player we saw last year. Hey, ever since that injury, he just, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, but no, he's not the same person.
I 1,000% agree. And I've said it on other shows that I've been on. Ever since he's come back from that injury, he does not look like the same person at all.
No, not. It doesn't really make sense either. But
it's I mean, what's that thing where it's like it's just a mental block. Like pitchers get it a lot. What was it? There was like the one pitcher. Is it the nips? What is it?
What injury was it that Knighton had? It wasn't a knee. I remember that.
I'm not sure either. Was it like his ankle?
I don't remember. But I mean, there is something. I mean, you see it all the time with knee injuries and other injuries. There is kind of a mental thing where players, have to learn to trust that knee or whatever it is again. And I'm not sure that Franklin has seen enough time to really regain confidence in it.
You mean Knighton?
Or yeah, Knighton.
Yeah. I mean, no one really knows what they're talking about. Someone in the chat said it was an ankle, and then someone else said a broken wrist. So.
I don't know. I thought it was an ankle, but
I mean, we just don't know because Mario doesn't really say what the injuries are. He's just like, it's an injury. He'll be back next week, or yes, it's an injury. He's done for the year.
In upper extremity.
Yeah, it's like hockey where it's just like, oh, it's an upper body injury, and it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's like, come on, Mario. We can all see that Tyler Van Dyke had about 800 pounds of football player land on top of him, and he went down on his shoulder. We know it's a shoulder injury. Stop it.
Right.
He has a upper body injury, and it's like, you mean where his shoulder was literally dangling as he was walking into the tunnel? Yeah, I think it's pretty clear it was an upper shoulder injury.
And what's the status on him? So is it? Did they give any update or
nothing? He doesn't really give up. Like today, Restrepo was just back. Like it was literally like 5 minutes before the game, and there was just reporters there, and they're like, "Oh, Restrepo's in uniform. I guess he's back."
Yeah.
Hey, Restrepo's on the field. What?
Who's this?
Yeah, I mean, I have, from the looks of it, like he was talking about with just his shoulder dangling. I think he dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
Which.
If he's not back for FSU, we don't win that game.
Call me old school, but suck it up, Buttercup. Put some ice on it. I've seen Ed Reed play a FSU game with a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, Brett Favre would be laughing at him.
Right, exactly.
He'd go out there with his arm chopped off and still finish the game.
I mean, I'm joking. I think it was on his. I think it was on his throwing shoulder. So I mean. What can you really expect? He's going to have to sit out. But, I mean, if that's right and it is just, a simple dislocated shoulder, he should be back next week. Yeah.
I mean, I just said it. I don't really like our chances with Jake at QB against Florida State.
No.
Nope.
That goes from a pick'em to FSU just beat Miami 48-13 here at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, it goes from a pick'em to a pick'em off.
I don't even if Tyler doesn't play, I don't see a blowout really either way because there just aren't many blowouts in this series. They're just always close. Even when it was one year when FSU still had Jameis.
2014.
What's up, Luke?
And Miami was what 6-6, 7-5.
That was 2014.
And we lost by 1.
Yeah.
So 23-6 or something like that too, at the half.
Everybody was celebrating the 52-10 a couple of years ago, but that's that's the oddity.
That doesn't happen very often. It's
No.
usually a. Do they have a line out on it at all yet, or
No, I checked. There's no line.
not
But
yet?
if I had to predict the line, it would probably be around like 7 to 9, that range.
I'd be surprised if it was over 7.
6.5 is my guess.
I'm just
Vegas
saying
knows.
the highest it would go is 9,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna be around like 7.5, around there.
We'll see. I just hope we win. But you're going to get to go to that game, so.
Yes, I will be tailgating all day. I'll probably have a little surprise for the show that I'm gonna get done in the morning.
Oh, that's cool.
That may not be good.
I'll just hold up. I'll send it in the private chat.
This sounds interesting. Now, if we win that game, you should get post-game reactions.
Oh no, I'm just gonna go to every drunk Miami fan and be like a little on-site reporter. Prepare a little jingle for me too, where it's like now cutting to our on-site reporter.
Right, exactly. We can try to pull that off.
Yeah, I just sent it in the private chat.
Okay, let's see what
we're talking about it.
And here's something else just to annoy people some more, because I'm gonna go back to Gaddis again, because I know people just love talking about Josh Gaddis.
That would be funny, Alex.
Yeah.
Talking about Miami fans learning their lesson. Did we not learn our lesson with Dan Enos? Everybody wanted him gone.
What did Dan the man do today?
I don't know, but Maryland's offense looking pretty good.
Oh, I thought you were saying that because he did something that put 52 up on someone.
No, not particularly today, but that offense has been looking pretty good with Dan Enos there at Maryland. So it's another one of those people need to learn to chill out. I put it in Coop's chat earlier. These guys are coaches, not miracle workers. I mean, if you want a miracle, ask Jesus, not Josh Gaddis.
And yeah, Barney, you're exactly right. That's what we were. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's normally a close game, no matter what.
Right.
Wide right here, wide left there, blocked kick here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I say that about every rivalry game, whether it's Florida Georgia, Miami FSU, take your pick.
Well, that game isn't too close right now, Florida Georgia.
But that's still, even in that game, that's still the oddity. You just see weird things happen in rivalry games.
Yeah.
What's the score on that Florida Georgia?
21-3.
Oh wow!
At the end of the 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Old Sunbelt Billy strikes again.
Oh yeah.
Bye, you Billy.
Poor Billy Napier.
Oh, he loses Cormani McLean, and now he loses to the Dogs.
And see, that's the difference. And I've tried to warn Florida and Florida State fans. You're already seeing guys decommit from Florida. You're already seeing guys decommit for Florida State. Where are you not seeing that?
Yeah, hopefully it stays that way. But I mean,
we're getting commitments. We just
right. That shocked me.
But that's Mario's specialty.
Yeah.
It's like I said,
track record too. He can point back and say, "I won conference championships. I worked with Nick Saban. I won the Rose Bowl. I've been to the Fiesta Bowl. I've been here. I've done this." What can Billy Napier say? Oh, I was at Louisiana. I'm Bayou Billy. Come down to Gainesville.
Let's not forget that Oregon was more talented than the record their very first year with Mario, but he had to get it built.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I said it all off season. Regardless of what we do this year, regardless of what anybody thinks of them. I mean, outside, I don't think any coach should be fired, even considered being fired year one. And I'm not just talking head coach. I mean, outside of, big off the field scandal or going 0-12 or something like that. but regardless of what they do or what anybody thinks of them, in the next 2 years, this is going to be one of the most elite rosters in the nation.
And we will be taking it to Gainesville week 1 to play on the Florida Gators.
I may go to
that'll be
Gainesville
fun.
for that game. I may go to Gainesville for that game.
I'm going to Gainesville. I will be there. There's no way in hell I'm not.
I may have to do that.
2024. And then 2025, they come here, and Notre Dame is here.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting year there.
That will be. I'm actually looking forward to some of our non-conference schedule coming up.
No, yeah. Next year, we get A&M and Clemson at home. So I'm definitely re-upping on season tickets to be able to go to that. Because if not, then that's basically the whole season ticket price right there, getting those tickets.
Right.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to going to Clemson, South Carolina here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, me too, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. Can't wait to do that. I do think those ticket prices, they keep going down though, Slim.
Ooh,
So
I'm gonna see right now actually. Hold on.
I'm just hoping it turns out to be a night game.
I'm praying it's a night game.
Yeah. At the very least, I don't want a noon kickoff.
Oh, that'll be
At
horrible.
the very least, give me like a 3:30, 4 o'clock kickoff.
Can you imagine me, you, Slim, and Hufferbilly having to wake up early for a noon kickoff? That'll be horrible.
That may not be possible. We may miss kickoff.
It'll be a night game for us.
Tickets are $49 for Clemson, Miami.
49. Oh man.
To sit right behind the Miami bench at midfield is $158. Midfield.
Damn, we should have waited to buy our tickets. We paid $93 for upper deck tickets.
I know. Because as with everybody else, we were assuming this is going to be a big game, you know. They could both be undefeated at that point, and this game could mean, you know, blah, blah. Yeah, here we are.
Well, I don't know. If somebody said we were going undefeated going into that game outside of like a troll comment.
Outside of me, right?
Yeah, well, everything you say is a troll comment.
I love the people who take me serious.
I love the people in the off season that were having Twitter spaces saying Miami was going to go 12-0, and I was like, you don't actually believe this. You know.
But see, they do. They do believe it, and that's why they get so mad during the season.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was playing NCAA 14 the other day, and we went 12-0 when I simmed the season. Oh, where's the point of this?
Oh, geez. I can't wait for the off season. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, off-season champs. Gonna have to go in defending our title, man. Another year about talking about the future.
Well, I mean, it's like we keep saying, and you know, a lot of rational people keep saying, you got to let them build something. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, or even one season.
Now, Alex, you still with us, right?
Yeah. I just turned.
So are you going to go down there and meet up with Coop next Friday?
Where is he meeting?
He's doing a
Canesware.
thing at Canesware, yeah.
Oh, that's way north of me. I live south of right near Homestead.
The Canesware's like Davie, isn't it?
Yeah, Davie right after
Fort
Lauderdale.
Because he's going to that game next weekend, so you should hook up with him.
I mean, maybe if I stay over at my parents' place in Fort Lauderdale, I could.
Well, he'll be at the game too, so you know. But I think he's doing some kind of meet up or something.
Coop though. Coop just knows of me. He doesn't know me.
Coop knows everybody. He's a nice guy. He's friendly.
Oh yeah, like I've talked to Coop before, but you guys actually know him.
MDB says he respectively disagrees with us on Gaddis.
Well, I mean, that's fine. This is why it's called an opinion. And I get his point about Michigan not missing him, but that's like saying that Ole Miss doesn't miss their offensive coordinator either. I mean, how much of that offense is the coordinator and how much of it is Jim Harbaugh or Lane Kiffin? Because Harbaugh's an offensive guy.
Right.
That's why you really haven't seen Georgia's defense really lose a step because Kirby's a defensive guy.
I mean, LSU really missed Joe Brady. I'll say that much.
Yeah, well, that had been LSU's problem, though. That's what got Les Miles fired.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, yeah, like by the time you're in like year 6 or 7 and you're like a genuinely good head coach and you just have it running as a machine, you should already have a baseline system you want in there. So when your coordinators get plucked away for other coordinator jobs or even head coaching jobs, like with Nick Saban, you're just able to grab the next guy, plug him in, and just keep the machine going. That's what Nick Saban does.
Yeah, but I think that's starting to catch up with Nick Saban in Alabama. Their defense is not what it was.
Yeah.
Now, did they have a bye this weekend?
Who?
Alabama?
Maybe.
Like,
yeah,
I think
they
I can't think who they're playing.
Yeah,
so that's
they do.
Yeah, because Lawtide and Millis didn't go live. I think it was because they had a bye week.
Last week they beat Mississippi State 30-6, fighting Mike Leach's.
Yeah, there's your high flying, pass the ball every time, produces a highlight reel offense. They literally got a touchdown as time expired.
So Adam's got a question here. They
didn't even let him kick the extra point.
But wait, what about Tennessee? They run a high-flying spread offense.
Slim, what do you think about this one? How many players enter the transfer portal, do you think?
I hope he can keep that number limited. I hope guys can get their head right, and there's very few.
Well, I hope every one of them whose heart's not in it jumps on in there and gets out. I don't care how good they are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with you. If you don't want to be there, don't be there.
Right.
If you don't want to do the work that Mario is going to demand of you, okay, go somewhere else. I got no hate on that, but I don't need you here.
Right.
But I don't want to see them I don't want to see so many people leave that were still really worried about depth issues for another year or two.
Yeah, it's going to be the 97 Canes out there where we've got a true freshman walk-on starting at strong safety.
I mean, don't forget that they had so many scholarship restrictions that year. They were only allowed to bring in 13 players in their class. That was it.
Yeah, I'm just comparing to the depth thing. I know we're not on the... Which, hold on, let me go back to the NIL thing. It's so funny seeing these Florida fans being like, Miami needs to be investigated because they're buying their players. And it's like, yeah, well, you guys did it under the table. And guess what? I don't think we are buying the players, but even if we are, it's legal now. Who cares, man?
Right,
I'm about to say, they probably are. And you know what? Them's the rules right now.
Yeah, you might as well go with it, man. I don't care at all. I mean, if you're allowed to, and that's what's up there now, then buy as many of them as you can.
Yeah,
Edward's right about that too. Les Miles definitely had trouble getting a quarterback in there.
Yeah, and then Joey Burrow got in there.
Didn't even recruit him. He was another Ohio State transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so funny how like the Ohio State people try to claim Joe Burrow.
Well, you had the same thing with some Georgia fans and Justin Fields.
Like,
and then who was the guy at FSU? Where did he transfer from?
Jordan Travis isn't a transfer.
No,
Jordan Travis is. He's from Louisville.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, but I was talking about the last. Oh gosh, what's his name? The crab legs guy.
Pretty sure Jordan Travis transferred from Louisville.
No, Jimbo recruited Jameis Winston.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he had transferred in, but I'm thinking of somebody else.
Jimbo can recruit. I mean, that's one thing he could do. I mean, and that's why, so many people are looking at Texas A&M, the same way they are Miami, because both teams are more talented than how they're playing.
Yeah. Jordan Travis committed to Louisville in 2017, and he's from the class of 2018.
What's up, Kyle? Yeah, we definitely feel better today after winning. The beer cooler is a bit colder today. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Virginia State champs, boys. We did it.
Yeah, we are. We own the state of Virginia. Virginia.
No, we don't, not yet. We need to play Old Dominion.
Oh, that's right.
Dominion in our bowl game.
Don't push our luck, man.
That's the real powerhouse because they took down Vautech.
Yeah. So is that possibly the best team in Virginia now?
I mean, I guess
Dude,
man, they've got a 10-year rivalry going for some reason. They signed a 10-year deal to play each other.
I mean, some of this brings up a question too. For all the complaints we're having, I mean, Tony Elliott is an offensive guy. Brad Armstrong is a very good quarterback, and that offense is doo. I thought he would come in and they would flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I had picked Virginia to beat us because I was like, man, Brandon Armstrong and all that.
Edward does make a good point here. He's talking about how A&M with the NIL and it's just ruined their program. And like he says in his next comment,
the thing about that though. Here's the thing. A&M just saw the stars and they were just like, yeah, bring in that guy. Like if you look at their class, like it was inevitable that a bunch of these dudes were going to transfer out because they brought in so many people at the same position, whether that be D-line or just like other position. Mario, what he's doing, you look at the guys he's bringing in and the way they talk about it, they're not the go to a gas station and post a picture on Twitter or Instagram with my nice car or that. They're the guys that they're like, we understand that this is a rebuild. We understand that this is a process and we understand this is going to be a grind and we're ready to go in there and work. But guess
right.
what? They're also getting paid a little bit.
I think they have to be careful with that. And I think that's kind of what Edward's saying too. It could bring that cancer looking for a bag. So you have to be careful what you can't just go out like Texas A&M did and just throw that stuff around, taking everybody you can.
I mean, there was that offensive lineman that went to Texas over us that he kind of had a whole fiasco around his recruiting. I'm forgetting his name now if anyone knows it. This happened in the offseason.
And I mean, I made that exact point on here a couple of weeks ago. I said Stars is great. I mean, absolutely. The teams that you see in the top are the most talented teams. But you have a limited number of 5-stars. And if a 5-star linebacker, and I'll just use linebacker as an example, if a 5-star linebacker is more of a run stop, get after the quarterback kind of linebacker, and he's not be able to drop back into coverage linebacker, he may not fit what your defense is trying to do. So you also have to go after the guys that fit what you're trying to do, not necessarily just the star rating.
Yeah, I mean, and we've done that specifically with the linebacker position. You have a guy like Raul Aguirre, the linebacker out of Georgia. A lot of people talk about his coverage ability, and he's really good in coverage. Like that's what he's good. Like he's a very good coverage linebacker, and he can also hold his own in the run game. And then you get someone like Malik Bryant or Bobby Washington, and they're more of the guys that can step up into the box and make those big hits at the line of scrimmage and be more run support.
Yeah, and I mean to that point exactly, I think that's part of the problem we're having. And linebacker has been something people have criticized this year. Manny got linebackers not to be able to drop into coverage. He got linebackers to be able to, get after quarterbacks, after the D line opens up holes, or to be able to stop the run game. So I think that's part of the problem that we're having too. And like I said, they're just having to do the best with what they have at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can bring in the transfer portal, and there's only so much that a freshman can do. Because at the end of the day, this is like an 18-year-old running out there. And before it was cool because it was like, oh, I'm 18, 6'3", 245 pounds, and I can slam this little like 5'9", 180-pound kid. But then I look across from me, and there's someone just as big as me, and he's 22 years old, and he's been doing this for 4 years.
Right.
So it's different. Like, Cormani McLean, he's great, guys, but he's gonna have to put some weight on him. He's 6'1", 165 pounds. No, he's not gonna have to go to 190 or something, but he's gonna have to put a little bit of weight on himself.
They're reading to these. Yeah, and I don't know, Tim. I don't know. Our cornerbacks not. Yeah, I don't know why we keep getting beat deep either, but it is what it is.
It's communication errors, man. There was one play where DJ Ivy got beat, and they show it on the replay, and Al Blades literally bumped him, like basically set a screen for the receiver, and people were like, "Oh, there goes DJ Ivy getting beat again," and I'm like, he didn't get beat, like his teammate literally ran into him.
Right, or to your miscommunication point, and we saw it in Middle Tennessee a few times, and twice was Cam Kitchens. They're in a zone defense. Tyreek lets his guy go because he's out of his zone, and Cam doesn't pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, once again, and I keep bringing up this point, guys are not going to get better when you're constantly changing the defense on them. And boneheaded stuff like that, where guys aren't exactly sure what they're supposed to be doing, is what you're going to have to deal with year one with a new system. So it's where I do not get this line of thought why people constantly want to fire somebody and bring in a whole new system again.
No, please, for the love of God, let's at least keep this one for 6 years and see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the chat. They're wanting to fire Gaddis. It's same thing on offense, defense, head coach. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say give it a chance. Let's sit back and see what happens.
I mean, something I've noticed with Miami fans, it's never on execution. It's never on the players. It's always the coach. Every single time. It's always the coach. And it's now if a guy's been there like Manny, where it's like, okay, it's 6 years. You've been here as the defensive coordinator and then head coach, and your guys can't tackle. Your guys can't do these proper defensive things on defense. It's like, okay, yeah, that's coaching, and it's still on the players a little bit because you still are not executing, but
yeah, to me that's more on the players than the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were hearing about how he teaches tackling, and he was basically teaching tackling without really tackling.
Well, they're only allowed to do so. Even Kevin Steele has brought this up. You're only allowed full tackling 3 times in fall camp. That's a problem. Everybody was complaining about that tackling donut that Manny used. Guess what? It's still there. Everybody uses those things. So I think
what about the chain? What about the chain?
Yeah, well, what about it? I was glad to see it go.
I was so happy to see that thing gone.
and the rings.
Oh, geez. All that nonsense.
Man, I hope my camera was working because I just got my chain out, bro. I got the.
Look! Speak of the devil.
It's back. It's back. It's back.
Alex busted out the chain now.
Bro.
Now we know where it went.
I got the Cuban links on it. It's right. I stole it. Yeah. Manny drove to my house and he was like, "I need you to watch these for me."
Hey, that last comment from Edward is absolutely right. Transfers. You can only do so much with. You're not going to build a championship team with transfers. You're just not.
I mean, you can.
No, not at all.
You can use it to plug holes where you have depth issues. Yeah.
I mean, this year the transfers for us are working very well on the defensive line. I don't know where our defensive line would be right now without the transfers. It would pretty much just be Leonard Taylor, running around out there. But we got Akeem Mesidor, Daryl Jackson's doing great. Mitchell Agude makes plays. So yeah, I mean, it's a process, guys. There's a reason we gave Mario a 10-year deal. I'm not saying it's going to take 10 years, but it's going to take a little bit. This isn't going to be something where after year 3, it's like, all right, it's never going to happen. Fire him. Get the next guy in here we can complain about.
Right.
Yeah, who's the next guy we can crucify? And
but see, this is nothing different. And you go back to what was written. Yes, you didn't have the internet at the time, but you go back to what was written, and people crucified Jimmy Johnson for his first year. A team that just won a national title, and Jimmy Johnson lost 5 games with it.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Irvin, Canes 52, Florida State 10. Kicking your ass on Saturday. Get ready for it, buddy. Fucking ready. You know what? Mario's going to bring back the turnover chain just for that game, bro. He's going to bring it out of the display case.
Yeah, Irvin, you guys don't stand a chance, man.
No, he's going to walk over to Mike Norvell and be like,
dreaming.
Hey, man, here's a little consolation prize. You can have the chain, wear it for a little bit, feel nice, feel powerful. Go ahead. It's fine.
Wait a minute. Florida State man thumping his chest for beating up on Georgia Tech. Y'all just got off a 3-game losing streak. Ooh, we beat up Georgia Tech. Whee! It's like winning the bronze medal. I mean, that beating up Georgia Tech like that is the equivalent of winning the bronze medal at the Special Olympics.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Oh, geez, that's funny. I do look forward to that game next weekend, though. That'll be fun.
Oh, it's always – now, I'm going to say this, though. Them white Florida State helmets were kind of fire. I did like those.
Black, get him off. Kick him. Kick him now. You just compliment the Florida State. No.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I'll put it – I will put it the same way here. I put it everywhere.
Don't say it, Slim. Don't say it.
No. Florida State, I've got respect for. Florida, I can't stand.
Now, Irvin, you can make fun of us for that, but the 3 of us can all spell too. So.
Yes, we can spell too.
So, yeah, keep up the trolling, my friend.
But I will remind him that Middle Tennessee State is still a much more highly ranked team than Jacksonville State.
Ooh. Ooh.
Miami's never lost to an FCS team, sir.
That is true.
Florida State and Florida can't make that claim. Just saying.
Didn't Florida lose to an FCS school while also their linemen blocking each other at the same time?
Yeah, yes, that was awesome.
That is still game, an absolutely amazing. Yes, I think it was the same game when their linemen were blocking each other.
Last year, Florida also almost lost to an FCS school. They gave up like 50 points to an FCS school.
They did.
Oh, geez. Well, guys, I got to wrap it up here in a second. Anything else you got to say or want to touch on or anything like that?
Yeah, it's Florida State week.
No, I think I've annoyed enough people today.
We've pissed enough people off for today, so we'll let the comment section speak for itself.
Yeah, right. Although, give it time. The day's still young, and there's more live streams going on. I may piss some more people off.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You do a pretty good job of doing that.
Slim, let the hate flow through you. Do it.
You know what they say. Be good or be good at
it. There you go. There you go. What about you, Alex? You got anything cool coming up or anything like that?
FSU, and then maybe the little surprise I messaged you about.
Yeah. I'm curious about that surprise now. Is that like going to be a real thing or like a?
Oh yeah, I might get some videos where I go up to like FSU fans and I'm like, I have something here. Can you help me with it? Hold up, and then I just show it to them.
Now I will warn you that
I might get punched in the face. Yeah.
Well, never mind. I'll tell you about that later.
Just make sure you film it. Just make sure you film it.
Yeah,
I know. Hey, Irvin, I know, buddy. It's all in good fun, man. We're all just having a good time too.
South Florida, and he's a Seminole fan. Jesus,
I know that must be rough.
Reevaluate your life choices, bro.
I'm a Dolphin fan too, but I don't.
No, he's got the Dolphin and the Heat part right, but the other thing, it's like.
It takes all kinds. I guess it takes all kinds.
I have respect for FSU, but Florida's just. I just
Hey,
like how
don't forget.
FS.
Wait a minute. Don't forget now. I'm a Tampa Bay fan, so
Ooh.
Wait, yeah, but there's no bad blood between like the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, they're also up there. We're down here. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
nobody's got any hate with Tampa.
Well,
Tampa's just chill.
yeah. One of my favorite videos of all time is drunk Tom Brady just chucking the Lombardi Trophy.
Oh, that was
That was
awesome
fun.
on the boat.
Oh.
I like the way
Yeah.
those people got so mad. Like the people who don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
watch football, they just hate Tom Brady. They're like, that's so disrespectful and bad. And all the Twitter was blowing up. It's like, hey, you don't even watch football. You don't care. So what?
I like the angle from his boat where his daughter's just screaming like, "Dad, no, don't!"
That was hilarious.
I mean, I guarantee you though, if that thing had gone in the water, nobody would have beat Gronk to it.
No,
That man would have been immediately.
Hey,
He'd gone all the way to the
C-Loss.
bottom.
I mean, honestly, if I
C-Loss
won the Super
79.
Bowl-
me-
we got a super chat.
Yeah, C-Loss 79. Thanks a lot for the $9.99, my friend. He says top 5 recruiting class from here on out. Just be competitive. More will come. 2023, we will be much better. How do you say this?
Okunlola, Riggs,
Okunlola,
Kemba,
Riggs.
Brown, bad record and all. I hope we stay competitive.
And I think we're on the right road to that. I really do. I think we're gonna.
Hey, if we land all those
I
guys,
agree,
I'll be like
'cause
Tom Brady
I
at the
don't-
parade. That's all
Yeah.
I know.
Dude, I agree because I don't even keep up that closely with recruiting because my cardiologist warned me against it. But that you've even got now, I read something the other day. You even got now a couple of commits that they already have for 24 are considering
One did.
reclassifying for
Antoine
23.
Jackson.
Yeah,
which
well, see, there you go.
when he recruited a lot of the guys from the 24 class, like especially the 2 receivers from Chaminade, Madonna, Josiah Trader and Jeremiah Smith, they were like, "Yo, he just flipped from Georgia to Miami." Okay, and they were really looking at it because everyone from the 24 class and a lot of South Florida guys really want to play with him because he's just a dog. Like
Yeah.
he's the type of he's like, to compare it to something in the past where it's like Alonzo Highsmith came to University of Miami and a lot of guys were like, "Yo, what's Miami up to? What are they doing that Alonzo Highsmith went there?" It was kind of like a little bit that same effect where they were like, "Yo, Antoine Jackson went to Miami, okay."
Well, you got a lot of people. You have a lot of people. Kermani McLean's talking about bringing some guys with him.
Mm-hmm.
He said that specifically in an interview. He's like, I got some boys I'm gonna bring with me.
He tried to recruit Brandon Innes already because Brandon Innes left a comment on his commitment post, and he was like, "Yo," and Kermani was just like, "Come on down, bro. Stay home. Stay home."
Yes, I like James Tudhill's idea here. Let's conclude with the prediction for next week. What do you got, Slim?
You know what? I got a feeling at this point it's going to be something similar to what we're seeing. So I'm going to say 14-10 Miami.
All right, what about you, Alex?
Okay. Man, should I troll or should I go with a real prediction?
Well, we got all week to troll. Go with a real pick.
All right. 24-21 FSU. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to take the chain off. I don't deserve to wear this.
Boy,
Richmond
Tooley must not be around a lot of college football channels because he says if you lose to MTSU and Duke, it's hard to fire shots. Sir, my trolling ability is not dictated by my team's record. Okay?
Shots fired constantly. Slim throws them out.
Just because I find something wrong, and see, people throw this up all the time. Yeah, well, Miami did that. Okay, it doesn't mean your team doesn't still suck.
Yeah.
Miami's record has zero to do with my ability to talk trash, sir.
Last year before the game, FSU fans were talking trash to us, and it was like, bro, you just lost to Jacksonville State. And then they just say, yeah, well, 0 ACC championships. Oh, take the L. Ugh. They just always say that. Yeah, like, trolling is trolling, man. Trolling is trolling, man. That's it.
Yeah, trolling's fun. I mean, that's half the fun of college football.
New prediction:
it's the
Miami
trash talk.
69, FSU nothing. Shut them out.
Exactly.
Why 69? Because nice. That's why.
Exactly. Go big or go home. We're gonna score way more goals than that other team, and
Dude, we're gonna hit so many home runs.
Right, grand slam, man, walk off home run. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Borgalis is going to be the player of the game. He's going to kick 17 field goals.
Right, exactly. I see that happening.
Jordan Travis is gonna run out the back of the end zone. It'll be a fun time.
Yes, Elon, I got you though. He's finishing up here with what he was saying before. He said he didn't have enough words to finish, but I hope we stay competitive this year because we don't have the talent right now at every level. The wide receiver core is not good, and that's secondary. Yeah, and it's all looking forward from here. That's
it is, and it's one of those things where either the guys are going to improve or they're going to get left behind and they're going to go somewhere else. And the secondary, not even because of McClain, I have no worries going forward. We have literally the best secondary coach in the country. That guy has had elite level secondaries everywhere he's been. And on top of that, he is an elite level recruiter.
What are you talking about, Slim? Miami fans were saying he can't recruit.
Well, okay. Well, Georgia fans disagree because he
24/7 disagrees. He was the number 2 recruiter in the country last year.
Yeah, according to 24/7, he was responsible for 4 or 5 stars ending up on Georgia's campus last year.
Ooh.
So, but hey, I mean, everybody thought Mike Rump was trash too. So,
and Peanut, I'm never going to be real, man, and say that if that's being real, because we're going to roll FSU and Clemson. You just wait and see.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Take it to the bank.
Both 69-0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Alex is right. 69-0. Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm ready to bounce. I got to get back, get some more stuff done.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure you go. Anybody listening? Thanks for sticking it out with us. If you're still here, but make sure you check out Slim Shady Canes on YouTube. He posts some fun stuff sometimes. Hurricane Central Alex. Check him out on Instagram and YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Twitter too. Are you on Twitter as well?
Twitter's not really like an official Hurricanes account.
Right, there you go. All right. Yeah, so yeah.
And again, shout out to everybody that donated. We all appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much to all you people who did help out and support the show. Really do appreciate it. And if you ever want to waste your time, you can always hit up Traveling Fools on YouTube or Twitter as well. Do some fun live streams and some pretty cool travel videos from time to time. So check us out as well. And to everybody out there, thanks so much for tuning in to the Voice of College Football's Miami Post-Game Show. We really do appreciate all y'all being here. Look forward. FSU sucks and all that kind of jazz. We'll see them next weekend when we take them out. It's been a great Saturday with the win. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good afternoon. See you soon.